Hello, everybody. It's Laura Eisenhower. I'm here with my dear friend, Laura Worley. I want to first thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to tell you all a little bit about her before we jump into this. So thank you for being with me today. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
I can't seem to get, yeah. So I'm just thanking you for being here with me today before I read about you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for being
So
with me.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get this up on the screen. Sorry for any tech issues, folks. That's what happens when we're live. But let me tell you about this extraordinary woman. If you see in the title, this is really what her mission is about after surviving and enduring these projects and programs, starting from just the very, very beginning. Laura Worley is a speaker, trainer, coach, and author. She has successfully helped thousands of people around the world address issues stemming from complex trauma and ritual abuse. Laura trains both clients and caring professionals in unique and powerful techniques that help survivors transform their lives. As the creator of the Worldwide Transformational Summit, she has interviewed over 85 of the top global authors and motivational speakers in the field of transforming lives. Laura wrote the book Puzzle Pieces to the Cabal, Mind Control, and Slavery based on her own experience as a survivor of ritual abuse. So there's so much more to share. I'm going to share the rest of her bio in the description. And what we're really focusing on today is a lot that she has received from her connection with God Source. Her healing process really connected her to something so far beyond the mind control that really helped her to connect with her higher mind. And I'd rather have you speak for yourself on that. But I mean, the books literally are your communication with God, the Christ energy, really able to disseminate and dive deep into the underbelly and the deep layers of this level of abuse that creates altars, and also how that is a concentrated version of what they're attempting to do to humanity, to mind control humanity, to go down a artificial timeline, negative sort of trajectory that is engineered, right? So she gives us amazing tools as far as how MK Ultra survivors can recover, and also speaks to those that are therapists and those that are in this field of, you know, therapy or the healing arts, and how they can help MK Ultra survivors and also be able to understand the level of programmings that humanity is dealing with, the social engineering agendas, the fake media, a lot of the distortions that we are faced with, the divide and conquer, also the indoctrination of our children and the abuses that still go unchecked, that are underground, that are right beneath our feet, that is being largely ignored as far as I'm concerned. So I will stop there and hand it over to you. This is going to be a short version because, as you can tell by the title, it'd be very, very hard to share the depth of information that Laura wants to bring forward today without moving it to a safe platform. So I'll put all the links to the alternative platforms, and also the links once the interview is done on the alternative platforms that you can find in the description and the comments. But because we're going to do a second part, please be patient. Check in a couple hours for the rest of the links so that you can see the fullness of our interview over on my podcast and also BitChute. So that was a big mouthful. Thank you so much, Laura, for being with me. And these books are incredible, everybody. I'll put the titles in and how you can purchase them. But what a journey, because you have done so much for others. You have hosted so many amazing people, and yet you have gone through all these horrific abuses and come out the other end just the most divinely centered being, and one of the most profoundly, you know, conscious spiritual beings that I know. And you shed so much light on things, also how MK Ultra victims can be reprogrammed. And that's happened recently. So there's a lot of warnings to share, but I want to make sure we stay focused on the topic at hand for this particular interview. So what is most important for you to share? I know there's always new information for you to bring in, but just kind of some bullet points of what we're going to dive into, and just anything at all that you feel necessary to warm people up for what's to come in the next phase of our interview.
Okay. The big thing that I wanted to kind of just share is that after trying to find help for 20 some years, nobody could help me in the 1990s. And most people said I was crazy, that doesn't happen. And now in the last few years, to my shock, and it's such a miracle of the information that is now being shared by millions about MK about all the different programming that has been done to children for decades. So to me, it's a blessing, it's a miracle. But at the time it wasn't, because I spent 20 years trying to find every kind of bit of information I could possibly find on the mind, how to heal. Now we're up to about 30 years. And what I'd like to say is the end result of something that was really horrific. Being in the program, I won't get into details in this little interview, this part, but what God did for me was he took all of that experience and then all the journey of trying to heal. And he showed me how to do what is necessary to get free. And I will tell you it through some of my, which I can go through in the next interview, is through my deepest, darkest pain and what happened, God revealed the greatest light and truth of how to get free. And so I'd like to say that in the last several years, God has not only brought information to me, I think I'm the gatherer of information. I can't say everything is my original creation, but he did teach me so much, and other people. And what I've done in the second book is to really bring out information that will help you. I'm teaching a seminar, and this is really what I want to share. October 7th, 8th, and 9th is for professionals of every kind. It is also for any survivor who wants to understand what has been done, and the professional who wants to help a survivor. And I'm also going to have a little plea here. We are in desperate need of professionals. Many survivors programming is breaking down right now because of the information coming out. And we are in great need of professionals who feel like they want to help, but they just didn't know how. If you're dealing with trauma of any kind, I can promise you, you will have a survivor that will come into your office. So in this interview, I was going to just not do anything until my second book is out, where it lays out the pieces of the programming, how to remove it, what order to remove it, and what techniques you can to do to remove the programming and have integration with your altars and parts. For some reason, the Lord has told me, you need to get this information out right now. He's been pushing me about the book, but the books, it will be out this year. But I need to get this information to you right now. And I'm even going to talk to survivors. If you are desperate, and many times I know survivors don't have a lot of money to go seek a professional, but I can teach you in this, and in my book, I promise you, if you have this information, you can get yourself free. You can, even if you had to find a friend to help you get through it, you could do it. That's how specific it is on the pieces of the core foundation. I don't want to get into the core foundation here because I've had many attacks so far when I did that with one interview, and I need to get this book published before they try to stop that. But it's important for every survivor to know that what has been done to you. And I will tell you, if you can understand what's been done, you will know how to remove it, in what order to remove it, and techniques to remove it. You can get free. And I spent 30 years of my life trying to find information, trying to help people, and especially myself. And now I feel like the Lord is giving enormous amount of information to the world, not only in this area, but in every area. We're having a reveal of what's been happening for decades. And unfortunately, that part connects to me too, because the same people that you're finding out about now, I spent a great deal of my life with, being under the programming of the, of those groups. I'm trying not to say specifics here, but you can probably imagine the different groups, and the stories that I could share are with quite a few people that that you see in a public manner. So that's really what I'm just trying to do, is get the message out to as many people as we can, because their greatest power over anybody that has mind control, is you do not know how to get free, and the professionals don't know how to help you, and they count on that. They also count on this information that I'm going to be sharing. It's been hid, like it's very difficult to find. But for those that may not want to believe, like, how would she know? I can tell you an experience. That's all I can share. In 2019, myself, another woman that is in a different country, and another man at the same year was taught the same thing about the true core foundation of what it is. And if you will address the core foundation, the rest of the stuff will collapse. That's not an accident. That is God bringing information out to free a world. And what I'm kind of hoping for is an army of professionals to start helping the millions of survivors. So that's what I feel I'm called to do, is educate with all of the information I have. And I do have a huge story to tell, and I can share some of that in the next interview if you want.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And this is what ripples out to the whole of humanity, and very much the mind control of humanity through all these, different tactics. Would you say it's very concentrated in these ritual abuses and MK Ultra programs that, they send those individuals out to play a influential role, whether it's through Hollywood, politics, or even being an ascension teacher or guide, where there's spiritual distortions embedded in it that very often are altars, right? That influence humanity to kind of go along with the narrative, right? Kind of, not saying they're all like that, but there are enough plants of people that are.
I mean, there's definitely gonna be plants and everything, especially churches. Like, it doesn't mean that churches are bad. It just means that bad people try to infiltrate it to make the church teachings bad. So we have to be careful, I think, when we judge a whole group of anything, because they, in the cult, they actually do tell people to go into specific things and definitely act like one of them so they can infiltrate.
Oh,
and
totally.
Like, I'll tell you experience. I'm not going to tell you where I was at. It was somebody speaking. Okay. He was telling a story, and he was literally looking in the group to see who reacted, because he was looking for whoever had MK Ultra.
Oh, no kidding.
And I was like, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening. And he was specifically looking who had a response, and see, so people know, like,
wow. Yeah. Right. And we shouldn't assume who's who might be under that, control. A lot of people, I think, throw a lot of false accusations. I mean, we deal with it in this community. I posted a video about it yesterday, and some people are like, don't feed the trolls, but I'm not going to sit back and take it. I'm trying to protect a history. It's not just a mission, rewritten history. And that's rampant. I mean, in what our kids are receiving in the school systems, connected to so many different things, science, just sex education. God, the list is so long. So yeah, it's really important to know the game being played, not to make any huge assumptions, but to really rely on the people that would know. And I consider you being that person, that voice that, can help us discern and give us the tools to know how to discern in a way that
I would say just this, you go by what your soul tells you is true. Don't listen to anybody else. Like, don't even listen to me.
Right.
Just go by you.
Just, of course. But you knowing and seeing and witnessing, what you have, you definitely give us, and whoever's listening, some great insights to develop that discernment and bullshit meter and sense of sovereignty within, and our own connection with truth, so that it can help us to navigate these times. So don't undermine your amazing abilities to do that. But of course, I don't think anybody should listen to anybody, because really it comes down to our capacity to have that direct connect. And I really feel like you have a tremendous gift and great mission to help people return to that, because look at what you're doing. You're helping to break down the most unbelievable mind control and how that's infected the masses. So let's jump over. If you have any final words before we jump over to part 2, we'll see you guys over there. We're pre-recording, so I'll get the links to you in just a little bit. Any final words before we jump over there?
I'll go into my story over there to maybe give you some hope, but I just want you to know, no matter what you feel that you can't overcome right now, or it seems impossible, I promise you that you can. I felt that many, many, many times in my life. And the reason why I always found an answer is because I never gave up. I'm very stubborn. And I would always just say to myself, there has to be an answer. There has to be something else. This cannot be it. And you know what? It was never it. It was never the final thing. There was always something that could help me to the next step. So I just want you to just hopefully just take the next step if you're struggling, because if you do the next step, it's going to get you where you want to go. And I don't know, what your audience, if they're okay with this, but I feel like God will just take you and carry you to where you need to go, no matter if you're struggling in hell. And I know how that feels, is to struggle in hell a lot. So.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. Okay. So join us over there as soon as you